Hey y'all, welcome to week 7, how is it 7 already, of your first year of drum lessons. My name is Penny Larson, and I am very happy to have you with me today for the drum set portion of our show. Last week we went a little crazy. This week we're gonna slow things down a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of a breather. Not too much though. But remember, all of these lessons that we've been learning are, to a certain extent cumulative, right? It's important that you are mastering or at least getting very comfortable with the material that we're doing, so as we move ahead, new concepts won't be totally out of left field for you. As I was talking with my husband about this, something to bear in mind is as we learn, there isn't one path. It's not like we're building a straight wall with one brick on top of another. It's more like we're building a spider web, right? And we're working our way from the center out. And sometimes lessons might be a little over there, and sometimes over there, but in general, we're working our way out like a spider does. And I really like that metaphor. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about my general concept of coordination on the drum set, and we're gonna learn some expansion to our bass drum patterns we can play with our hi-hat. We're going to leave our hi-hat closed this week. Your left foot can take a break. So first, this is my concept for drum set coordination. And it might seem obvious, but I think it's worth thinking about. There are only so many possibilities for combinations that you can play. The numbers get big quick, but it is a finite number of patterns. Like all our sheets, this will be available in a PDF down below. I'm going to read you my concept just in case you don't want to print it out, and then we'll talk about what's going on here. One of the definitions of coordination is the, quote, harmonious functioning of parts for effective results. That perfectly describes the way a drummer must use their whole body to create nearly all the examples we consider music on the drum set. There are only 15 ways the 4 limbs can be played together, 16 if we count playing none of them. From all 4 to any one alone and any variation in between. However, even in a simple bar of 4 quarter notes, the possible combinations balloon to over 50,000 if we are free to play any of those 16 possibilities on each of the 4 beats. Therefore, we will restrict our initial studies to the patterns most commonly found in real-world musical examples. But before we begin, here are the 16 possible ways that the limbs can be played together. The most complicated drum parts in the world come down to some combination of these 16 examples, which should be both comforting and intimidating. From these patterns, we will endeavor to create truly special and unique drum parts. So again, every single part for every single song ever is going to be some combination of these patterns with different rhythms, in different dynamic levels, on different instruments, on different parts of different instruments. So beyond just these patterns, we also have timbral changes we can make and instrument changes. These 16 patterns will get us going, but then the sky's the limit. So let's run through these really quickly. I have arranged them this way. This isn't necessarily the only way they could be arranged. This is the way that made sense to me. So first is all four limbs together. I'll play each one for a couple measures of quarter notes, just so you can see how they sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next pattern is your right hand, your left hand, and your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is your right hand, your left hand, and your left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is your right hand and both feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is your left hand and both feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination, so we did the combination of all four, which obviously there's only one. That was the combination of any combination of three. Now we have combinations of two. So first we're going to do both hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is right hand and right foot together. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is right hand and left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is left hand and right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next combination is left hand and left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last combination of two is both feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the combinations of one, and these are pretty self-explanatory. First, just your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then just your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally is the rest, which I won't bother playing. I'll assume you all can practice that one on your own. And this might seem a little silly to run through these patterns, but I think it's helpful to sit with them and think about, these are the only things we can do. I can move my right hand around, I can move my left hand around, I can move, I can play more than one note with my right foot. I can move my left foot from the hi-hat to the bass drum. I can play at different volumes. I can combine them. For example, a really quick one, if I play the hi-hat with my right hand while I'm opening it, then suddenly I get this, right, which is a whole new thing, and all I'm doing is playing my right hand and then my left foot, right? So from these 16 combinations, everything we're going to do comes, and everything we have done comes. Okay, so the way I think about the drum set conceptually, it's important for me to have you think about this from really pretty early on. And it might not seem like it has that much value right now, but trust me, I think it will impact how you relate to this instrument. Okay? There is nothing that is more complicated than some combination of these combinations. We're just hitting stuff with sticks. Okay, so next, we're going to do some more reading. And we're going to do some eighth note patterns with the bass drum. We're going to move our right hand over to the hi-hat and play eighth notes on the hi-hat, and 2 and 4 with the snare drum, and then 6 different patterns of eighth notes with the bass drum. This is by no means an exhaustive list of eighth note variations, and we'll do another set of these next week. This is a set to get us started. This is a really great time for me to do another book recommendation. This is my favorite book to have students get as their first drum set book. It's called Drumset Musician by Rod Morgenstein and Rick Mattingly. And it is full of the basic patterns for you to learn. The first section is all eighth notes. There's eighth note fills, there's some different colors we can make on the drum set, different sounds, playing cross stick on the rim, playing with that open hi-hat. There's a 16th note section, and there's a triplet shuffle section, which we haven't even talked about what those are yet. There's also a really big section in the middle about musical form, and there are some play-along tracks. So this is a really great book to get yourself going with these patterns. Like I was saying, there's only so many patterns that we have time to play, and so books like this are a great way to trust someone else's opinion about what those musical patterns we should be working on are. Okay, so Drumset Musician, Rod Morgenstein. And now let's play through these. Again, this worksheet will be available down below as a PDF. So let's start with letter A. And let's do these at a few different tempos so we can see how that works. You should be working on pretty much everything at different tempos. It's not enough to just play something through and then say, oh, well, I did it. You really want to make sure that you know how to do it, not just, oh, yep, I can do it twice and then I'm done. Slow, medium, fast, loud, soft, medium, volume, right? All of those are really important. So let's do these at a few different tempos. We'll start with the medium tempo and then I'll go back and go slower and then we'll go faster at the end. So here's letter A. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter B. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... And letter F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, let's go back. Letter A, a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter B. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Letter E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... And letter F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, and so finally, let's go back and get these a little faster. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play them. I've been playing them 8 times each. I'm going to play them 8 times each, but I'm going to go to the next one without stopping. Okay? And this is a really great way to work on these. You can create a pattern in your head before you start. Say, I'm going to go A, D, B, E, C, F, right? That kind of thing. You just want to get comfortable going back and forth between the different patterns at all the different tempos, okay? So a little faster, but not crazy fast. And 8 times each, and then we're going to go on without stopping. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, part of your goal when you're playing these, you want to try and picture that you are creating such a feel that someone would want to tap their foot to you playing the drums. The drums as an instrument has a few different roles, but in almost every style of music, the principal job of the drummer, they say, is timekeeper, and that's true, but I like to think of it as movement maker. The drums make the music go forward and keep the music in line as it goes forward. And if you do it really well, you will make people move just from your drumming. And that's the goal, right? To me, the music that I like to listen to is music that I can bop my head to, whether it's, you know, rock or jazz or even classical. I want to feel that pulse. And not as much in classical, but in every other style of music, it is usually the drums that are making me nod along. So even at this early stage with these fairly basic patterns, you should be thinking about making making music that makes people want to move. Okay? So that's it for this week. Like I said, this is a little bit of a breather week. Next week probably won't be too bad as well. And then we'll ramp up for a couple weeks. There's going to be an ebb and flow to our lessons, right? I'm not dumping everything I know on you in your first couple months, right? That wouldn't do you any good and it wouldn't do me any good. So let's stay on our track. Hopefully this is going to give you a chance to absorb the stuff we've been doing up until now. I kind of think last week was a little bit of a killer. So this should help give you some breathing space to work with that material as well. But that's going to wrap it up for now. I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked it enough to give me a thumbs up down below. If you like the channel and you like what's going on here, don't forget to subscribe. And if you really want to stay aware of everything I'm doing, hit the little notification bell. I keep threatening to do more types of videos and they're in the pipeline, but they haven't materialized quite yet as regularly as they will eventually. But there's definitely more stuff coming besides just your first year of drum lessons videos. So keep a lookout for those. And keep practicing, like I say all the time. I know, I'm a nag. I apologize. All right, I'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend. I love you guys. Bye.